No, no, no. Hey crew, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, we are doing a frequently asked question tag video. Believe it or not, I get asked the same questions over and over, whether I'm at the airport, on the plane, or commuting. So I thought, why not share my answers with you? And if you're a flight attendant, comment down below any frequently asked questions you receive when you're working. So let's get into the video. So the first question, which is being asked a lot right now because airlines are hiring, is how to become a flight attendant. This is very simple. You apply online. You look up whatever airline you want to work for or are interested in working for, and you apply online. Next question is, do you have remedies for jet lag? My only recommendation for that is staying on your home time zone as much as possible. So if you're not going to be staying in the country that you are in or the state that has a different time zone for more than a few days, I would recommend sleeping on your time zone so when you do get back, you're not put off and now having to readjust your body. Next question is, how many days off do you get? Now that is a good question. By law, I think we are supposed to get 10 days off. You can definitely get more than that depending on how your schedule is, if you have vacation that month, and if you just have a preference on the amount of hours you want to work based on seniority. But there's not a set amount for everybody. It just depends on how your schedule is for that month. Next question is, how long is reserve? This is also a good question, but this is something that I cannot answer because that varies per airline and per base. Some bases you may be on reserve for a shorter amount of time in comparison to other bases, and that solely would be based on the seniority of that base. So if that base is super junior, you may gain seniority quicker than a base that is super senior and has people who've been working there 40, 50, 60 years. Next question is, do you fly for free? If I got $1 for every time someone asked me this question, I would be a millionaire. I fly for free to an extent. So within the US, my benefits are free, but outside of the US, I pay the taxes. And one thing that everyone needs to remember is that we are flying standby. It is not, oh, I'm booking a seat and I'm confirmed and I know I'm getting on that flight. It's the stress of the flight looked good, had all these open seats, the standby list wasn't long, and then when you get to the gate, the previous flight canceled or had a mechanical and now they're moving everyone over and now the flight's oversold and there's like 40 people on the standby list and you're number 41. Yeah. So yes and no, I fly for free. Next question is, do you get to pick your base? The short answer is yes, but there are some stipulations to that. So in training, if your airline has multiple bases, depending on the time you go to training within the year, they will offer you, if there's options, the bases that are still available to take new flight attendants. Now, they may have 10 bases and say only 5 are available. You will have to pick through those 5. Once you put your preference in, the base assignment is now awarded by seniority. And you're probably thinking, well, if I'm in training, everyone who's in training with me in my training class, we're all the same seniority because our hire date is the same. That's right. But because of that, then they go by age. So the older person will be given their choice before the younger person. Another thing you have to take into account is if there are internal hires in your training class, they will be put above everyone and then it will go by age. Next question is, how tall do you have to be? This is an interesting question. I don't think there's an exact height, like, oh, you have to be 5'5" and taller in order to be a flight attendant. Each airline has their own testing that they do at their interviews to make sure that you are tall enough to do whatever evacuations they require or to be able to reach whatever equipment they have on their aircraft. Whether there's an exact height, I don't think there is. So yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. Next question is, how many years of customer service experience is required? Once again, this is another question where there's not an exact number, like, oh, you have to have 3 years of experience in order to be eligible to apply as a flight attendant. No, you could have 1 year of experience. You could have 20 years of experience. There's no requirement or minimum amount of time. Next question is tips on passing the interview. For this question, all I'm going to say is that I have videos on my channel giving all of my tips for you to be successful for your face-to-face and video interviews. So if you need tips, check out those videos. That's all I'm going to say. Next question is, do you have advice for new hire flight attendants? My biggest piece of advice for a new hire is to know your work rules. I cannot stress this enough. Know your work rules, know the basic ones like legalities and things like that that really affect your quality of life, and if you're on reserve, really affect your life for real. So know your work rules and stick up and stand up for yourself and speak up if you see something's wrong or you're unclear or unsure about something. Ask for clarification for them to give you the specific page, section of why that work rule is legal or illegal. Next question is number 2 question of, if I got $1 for everyone who asked me this, I would be a millionaire. A 2 millionaire at this point. Do you fly a specific route? No, 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 no. I do not fly a specific route. I fly both domestic and international. No, I do not fly back and forth from Cincinnati to JFK or Cincinnati to Atlanta every single day. If I did, I don't know if I would last in this job. The main reason for this job is to see different places and experience different cultures and different experiences. And if I was doing the same route every single time I worked, that would get old very quickly. Next question is, does turbulence scare you? Short answer, no. I've only had one experience where I was concerned. I was not scared, but I was definitely concerned about how rough the turbulence was and for how long it lasted. This was on a flight coming back from Dakar to JFK, and we were in severe turbulence for about 40 minutes. The galley looked like a crime scene. Stuff was flying everywhere, and it was so bad that we couldn't even get up and try and secure the galley and sit back down. So we just had to let everything fall and then pick up the pieces afterward. So no, turbulence typically does not scare me. Next question is a bizarre question, and I don't think people actually think before they ask this, but it's, where are we flying over right now? Sometimes I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know. I don't have a live map in my head to say, oh, we're flying over Albuquerque or New Mexico this second, or the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know. But what I do know is that there is a flight map on your in-flight entertainment screen that can tell you exactly where we are, but I don't know. Next question is not really a question to me, but it's a question, and that's asking for directions in the airport. While flight attendants and aviation workers spend a lot of time in airports, we do not know every airport's ins and outs. Sometimes it's my first time coming to that airport just like you. So if I tell you I don't know, I generally do not know. So don't think I'm trying to be difficult, because sometimes I really don't know. And I'm following the crew and hoping that they know where they're going, because I surely don't. Now, the last 3 questions are bonus questions. I put out a community post and asked the crew members, you guys, for questions that you wanted to know about the aviation industry or just about being a flight attendant in general. So I got 3 good questions, and I'm going to share them with you guys. First question is, does seniority carry over from one airline to the next? No, it does not. It doesn't matter if you had 20 years at a previous airline and you are moving to another airline, you will be starting all over. Next question is like a 2-part question. What is probation like, and what is bidding? Probation is not like anything. You go about your job just like someone else who is not on probation. Depending on the airline, they may have meetings for new hires who are on probation, but it's not anything different than what it would be without being on probation. And bidding is a term used in the airline industry for putting in your preference on your schedule. So typically in the airline industry for flight attendants, I'm not sure if it's the same for pilots, but I would assume so, you bid for your schedule the month prior. So this month, we're in September, I bid for October's schedule. And towards the middle of this month, I will know my October schedule. So bidding, you're putting in your preferences of, oh, I want to work only turns, or I want to work only on weekends. I want to work only out of a certain airport if your base covers multiple airports in that state. Certain things, you just put in your preferences. But one thing you have to remember about bidding or awards for your schedule is that everything is based on seniority. Last bonus question is, what is your favorite position to work on the aircraft? Now, I have two answers for this. Domestic wise, I prefer to work in the back of the aircraft in the galley, setting up for service and making sure everything's ready when we go out to do our beverage or meal service, depending on how long the flight is. Internationally, I prefer to be in the main cabin. Yeah, that's my answer to the question. All right, so this is the end of this video. Thank you so much if you've made it to the end of the video. And once again, all my flight attendants, comment down below any frequently asked questions you receive while you're working. And as always, stay safe and see you soon.